Yo, what up, everybody? Slummy back in the house, coming at you with another Destiny 2 Forsaken video. This video, I just kind of want to make it a little laid back, just kind of rap a little bit about Destiny 2 Forsaken, kind of give you my thoughts. We're about 1 month, 2 weeks in. I know in the subject line it says 1 month, my thoughts, whatever, but it's actually 1 month, 2 weeks. And I just kind of want to keep this as an open discussion. So I would love for everybody to post something in the comments. Let me know what you think about the game this far in. Are you still actively playing it? What are some things you really like? What are some things you really don't like? What are some things you would like to see in some future updates? But I just want to kind of keep it chill. I do apologize for all the ums. I do not script any of my videos. So yeah, I'm a terrible reader. So if I script it, this video is going to sound like I'm reading off a piece of paper because I am just terrible at doing that. So a couple things I'm not going to really touch on too much in this video. The raid, I have not done the raid. I'm almost at about 580 power level, and I didn't really want to try the raid until I was because I heard the final boss fight is about 580. So I would rather just hit the power cap of 580 first before jumping into the raid. So no, I have not done the raid. So for all those people who are going to post comments down below saying, you haven't even done the raid yet. No, I have not. So that's why I'm not really giving my thoughts on it. I'm not really going to touch on the campaign either because every YouTube channel has beaten that fucking thing to death. So my quick thought on the campaign is I really enjoyed it personally. I like how they put the heroic ventures into the story. I thought that was a great touch. I didn't like how Destiny 2 launched and the adventures were kind of separated for the story. So I thought the boss fights were pretty unique. They could have probably done it a little better and made it a little tougher, but since they were pretty much feeding you gear up to power level 500, it didn't really pose much of a challenge. So hopefully moving forward, Bungie can maybe kind of slow that power level climb down a little bit, just to make the campaign a little bit tougher and a little bit more exciting and feel more accomplishing. I could tell you in terms of where the game really shined for me is because I switched from console to PC with the Forsaken DLC. So when I started new characters, I literally started from the very first campaign of Destiny 2 all the way up to Forsaken, and that was a real treat for me. That really felt like there was a lot of gameplay there just in the story. I think the total hours were like maybe a little over 20-ish to complete everything and get my level to level 50. So that was a real treat. So for new players coming in, I hope they really appreciated that part of the game because us veteran Destiny players, we pretty much got screwed upon release date. So that's all I'm really going to touch on by the campaign. So mostly I'm going to touch on the end game and just give you my thoughts on the current state because I can tell you my constant playing of the game is slowing down a little bit, and I'm finding myself going in and trying different games or playing games that I stopped playing for the last month, and I'll basically tell you why. So I love the fact that there's a ton of activities to do now to increase your power level. You got the spider bounties, you have the heroic missions, you have the strikes, the crucible, we got gambit, we got the flashpoint, and usually on the planet with the flashpoint you got the heroic adventure story mission. All these are going to drop you powerful gear, and I love the fact that they have a daily rotation, which is actually every 4 days, and they have a weekly rotation, so there's always something to look forward to during the week. Usually the daily rotation is just like one match of gambit, one strike, one heroic adventure, rinse and repeat. The spider bounties, I actually enjoy those. I like how they give you little hints of the area as to where the enemies are, and although only one really drops you powerful gear, I like the fact that you have to kind of farm on the Tangled Shore to get the broken down ghost pieces in order to obtain that bounty for the powerful gear. But I don't like how they cap you at 10 fragmented pieces on the Tangled Shore. I wish they would just let you grind, gather as many as possible so you could do the bounties. Again, that's just my personal thought. getting rid of the cap basically on the fragments. So yeah, in terms of the end game and your power progression, oh, I forgot to mention you have the Dreaming Cities. So all in all, the end game feels very fun to me. I think that is a very positive takeaway compared to any Destiny situation in the past, Destiny 1 or 2. I think it's great that Bungie implemented it. I like to see them further implement things. Some things I like to see is maybe give you powerful rewards for each planet bounty. Like make one planet bounty a powerful reward bounty, or even give you a ton of resources. Like make this bounty take a little time, and once you complete it, get the resources. Or maybe you'll get a planet specific gear item that could drop as like a powerful gear. I think that would be very cool. I think that's a good way to utilize the loot from Destiny 2 prior to Forsaken and Destiny 2 Forsaken. Just getting those old pieces of armor, random rolled, maybe throw the random roll perks on there. Even throw in, I think, a planet-specific exotic weapon and a planet-specific exotic armor piece would be an awesome addition to the game. And make those have a chance to drop with completing, you know, a said bounty on the planet, or completing like 15 bounties a week on that planet or something along those lines. I think that would be very cool. I would like to see the planets utilized a little more. I would like to see planet-specific weapons and, you know, even some Destiny 2 Year 1 weapons utilized more into Forsaken to kind of increase the loot pool. Because that will be one of my negative things that I would say going into Destiny 2 Forsaken is the loot pool feels very, very slim. I think the addition of random rolls kind of makes up for the lack of loot. I'm not really going to touch on the Edge Transit drop because I know Bungie's working on fixing that, but I'm not even kidding you. I probably got like 150 of those things at least. But, you know, I got legendary shards from shredding it, and I did get some power cores for shredding it, so plus. But that would be my negative takeaway with Destiny, is a lot of the weapon drops, although they have different roles, the loot pool still feels very, very low to me. It feels like that they try to use the random rolls to make up for the lack of loot, which was a step in the good direction, except, you know, it does get a little boring when you get like the exact same auto rifle every single time you complete like a weekly challenge, or the exact same armor piece. I can tell you, in terms of the loot and how it's utilized, I love the fact that with Strikes, Crucible, and Gambit, they did have specific quests that rewarded you power gears for equipping an entire set of that loot. I think Bungie really needs to focus in on that aspect. If they're really going to make the game grindy and make you do activities for almost no reason, make them do it for that reason. Like, I love the fact that you needed the complete set of Vanguard to complete this quest, and the complete set of Crucible to complete that quest. That's something I think Bungie really needs to utilize, and that'll kind of increase everybody for playing more of the game and going out and trying to get that loot and not just scrapping it every time they get something. Because once you hit power level 500, all the loot kind of drops a little bit lower than your power level, unless you do power level reward quests or bounties, however you want to call it, weekly challenges, daily challenges. So pretty much all the drops you're getting out in the world, they're going to drop under your power level, and you're just scrapping them anyways. I think adding objectives with armor sets is a good route to go to make people keep that gear, try to utilize it. Maybe they'll end up enjoying it and want to infuse it up. So that would be something I would like to see in the future, utilizing more like getting the armor sets, equipping it for some kind of challenge, and having even make it like a Vanguard exclusive reward or a Crucible exclusive reward. I think that would be a very cool step. So in terms of the end game, I still really enjoy it, but you're slowly kind of jumping back into this vicious loop where it's, every week you're still doing the same thing over and over again. You're still doing, the 3 strikes, you're still doing the 1 strike and the 3 gambit matches. So I know people are going to say, well, it keeps you playing and it gives you rewards. I completely agree with that. But now looking back like a month and a half in, it's getting to the point where now I'm less kind of focused on it, I guess would be more accurately saying, because it's, you know, you do it on one character, then you jump onto the next character, and it's still like this kind of vicious loop. And I think Bungie's still, although they're giving you more chances to increase your power level, they're also still kind of restricting you back for how much of that power level you can gain. For example, you know, there's the clan bounties, and then your clan can complete stuff and you could get powerful rewards from that. You got Akora, by completing challenges you get powerful rewards from that. But the one takeaway that kind of sucks is when you complete, you know, 4 of those challenges and you get, you know, 2 chess pieces and 2 boots. Now you had to wait a whole week for those to reset, and now you got 2 chests, 2 boots that dropped at the same power level. You can only equip one, and you're pretty much either infusing the other or dismantling it into a piece of gear that you want. So that's where I think the loot pool is a little shallow. That's where you can really see the shallowness of the loot pool, is the fact of getting duplicate drops for doing powerful activities for that week, or for, you know, the every 4 days, and then you get the same gear, the same gun, doing multiple activities. It's very heartbreaking, I think, and it does kind of dip into the motivation factor a little bit. I could tell you, chess pieces I get so often, and, you know, it does kind of damper my feeling on doing those challenges a little bit, because now it's to the point where it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna get a chess piece. So yeah, so I think but for the most part, I am really enjoying it. I think it's a good step in the right direction. I really want them to focus on the gear sets more. I think making objectives while gear sets are complete are a really good idea. I like the power level system. In terms of the loot drops itself, again, with all the activities to get powerful gear, I think the in-world loot drops really need to be worked a little bit better. And I think the best way to do it is, I think once you hit a certain power level, even if it's above 500, I think your loot out into the world should drop at your current power level, at least. This way it gives you motivation to play more activities, to try to get those pieces of loot that you might be missing, or even blue items that where you finally, like, let's say you need your boots to complete your power level to 580 or whatnot. You know, you're going to go out into that world and you are going to grind until you get those boots to either infuse or a legendary drop. You know, I would be cool if they didn't even make the blues drop at your current power level, but make the legendaries drop at your current power level. Not above, but at your current power level. I think that would be a real cool concept. I think especially if you're missing gear pieces. So if you're 579, but you're that one gear piece away from hitting 580, you know damn well you're going to go grind and grind until you get that legendary boots to complete that set to get you to 580. I think that's something that Destiny 2 is kind of hurts itself, is the fact that everything drops lower than your power level. It makes the loot drops, with the exception of the power level drops, it's more material based. Like, oh cool, I'm gonna go out into the world, get a ton of weapon parts and legendary shards. That's all loot is out in the world, is just materials for you to turn into vendors to get additional materials, but those weapons are still going to drop way below your power level anyway. So essentially you're getting materials to take into vendors in hopes of getting like a weapon mod or a masterwork core. So yeah, in terms of power progression, you know, I think having at least the legendary drops drop at your power level would be very nice. So yeah, that would be a suggestion for future stuff, and making the loot a little bit more kind of a little bit more worth something. So yeah, so we touched on pretty much the end game a little bit. Patrols, resources, we'll touch on masterwork cores and weapon mods, because I know that's a hot topic. To be 100% honest with you, I like the way the system is set up now. Yeah, Masterwork cores could be a little bit more obtainable. Weapon mods could be a little bit more attainable. But what I look at Masterwork cores as, and I'll link a video to my farming guide into the description below, is right now there's, besides the flashpoint and the weekly and daily challenges, there's really not much reason to go back to the older planets to gain materials. Yes, you could, go out get materials because you might need them to infuse something, but you also need the masterwork cores to infuse something. I think the fact that you have to go out, farm materials to cash into vendors for a chance of getting masterwork cores is a really cool RPG mechanic. Like, RPG games always have that one thing where you have to literally go out and farm something just to get something else. And I like the fact that I have to go do more heroic public events, and I have to go out and actually do patrols and do the lost sectors to gain additional materials so I could turn into the vendor, so I can break down masterwork weapons to get either the masterwork cores or even increase my chance to get weapon components. You can also go to Spider and buy masterwork cores. I think the way the legendary shards increase as you buy masterwork cores is a little bit, I think it should increase to a point to prevent people from completely just going crazy on the masterwork cores. But I mean, come on, like 320 legendary shards for one masterwork core, that's insane. Like that's a little carry away. But I know, again, that's Bungie kind of strong arming your progression a little bit, because if you can infuse weapons to the weapons you want, then it's going to kind of take you away from doing the challenges, the weekly and daily challenges, for hopes of getting a power drop for the level, for the weapon that you like. So again, though, I think the Masterwork Core system is okay. Yeah, they could probably add it to some additional activities in the game that guarantee you a drop, but I like the fact that you have to go out, kind of farm something, cash them in hopes of getting like a masterwork weapon just to break down to get that masterwork core. I think that is a really cool and kind of definition of an RPG mechanic. It's one of those like farming mechanics, and I don't know if Bungie did that on purpose. If they did, I give them props for that. I think that's a great idea. If they didn't, and well, there you go. I think it's a good way to implement old content in the game to kind of be relevant with the new content you release. So I don't mind the Master Core grind. I don't mind the Weapon Mods grind. But again, I'll post a link in my farming method below, because it does really work and it will save you. You'll spend a lot of time farming materials, but you'll save a lot of time stressing about those Masterwork cores. It's kind of like the comfort feeling, I guess. So that would be my touch on the end game. I'm going to briefly go into Gambit, just because I love Gambit. There's really not much I could say bad about it. I think it's a great game mode. I want to see Bungie kind of, release different maps, and I think for the most part, I love it. I really have nothing bad to say about Gambit. It's a lot of fun. The sleeper stimulant, yeah, it's a little OP right now, but there's also a lot of OP things in Gambit. The Hunter Way of 1,000 Cuts is way overpowered. It just melts the Primevals. You have the Black Talon Exotic Sword, just melts Primevals. So everyone kind of pinpoints on the sleeper stimulant, but there is a lot of things in Gambit that are very OP. It's not just a sleeper stimulant. So the fact that Bungie is focusing on nerfing that and not the other exploits in Gambit. But to be honest with you, if they fix nothing, I would still be fine with it. Yeah, it gets annoying that I get killed with a sleeper stimulant on an invader a lot, but at the same time, I just really love that game mode. I love the fact that the enemies get harder the more rounds you go. I love the whole blocker and primeval concept, and I got nothing bad to say. I love the game mode. Crucible. We're going to touch on Crucible, and I don't know. Post something in the comments below if you could figure this out. I loved Destiny 1's Crucible. I played it so much. I thought it was very rewarding, and it just felt really good. There was a lot of issues and weapon balancing issues in Destiny 1, but I still loved playing Crucible, and I don't know what it is about Destiny 2, but I cannot stand Crucible. I would I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I would totally be cool just getting rid of Crucible, period. Like, I cannot. Iron Banner is just brutal. I can't stand Crucible, and I don't know what the difference is between D1 and D2. So if you can pinpoint something that is dramatically different, because the weapon balancing in Crucible is actually pretty good, with the exception of scout rifles being shit. But I mean, auto rifles are pretty decent. Pulse rifles, like, own it, you know. But I cannot put my finger on why I cannot stand Crucible. I fucking hate it. I think there's a lot of exploits in Crucible that is very frustrating. Like, there's people who push spawn points. Like, when you play Iron Banner, you get this a lot. And this is why I will not play Iron Banner. As much as I love the way the gear looks, I cannot stand Iron Banner. And I always get matched up with a pretty decent team, except the other team will do the whole, they get C, they get B, and then they kind of just hover around your control point. So they won't take your control point, but everyone kind of hovers around your control point, and they just take advantage of, you know, the shitty spawning in Crucible. And basically you're just spawning, they're killing, you're spawning, they're killing, and I just cannot stand it. Like, it infuriates me. I don't know. So if you like Crucible, let me know what you like about it, because I can't get into Crucible, and I've tried. I've played a ton of hours in Crucible, and I end up leaving shaken. Maybe it's because I suck. I don't know. But in terms of Crucible, that's my thoughts on it. I really have nothing good to say other than the fact that it does feel more balanced than it ever has, but it also feels less fun than it ever has. So, yeah. In terms of exotic drops and exotic weapons, I personally agree with the feedback and the outrage of getting duplicate drops. I love the drop rate of exotics right now. There's so many different ways to get exotics. One of the best ways I found, I'll make a video on. I'm not going to do it here because I don't even know who the fuck even made it this far in the video. And to be 100% honest with you, judging by my subscription count, I don't even know if my thoughts even mean anything anyways, so whatever. But I love the way the exotic drops are right now. I like it that they're very rare. I agree with the update coming out that they're going to take away the quest items from the loot pool, and I think the rebalancing of the exotic drops in terms of the less chance of getting duplicates. Even if I got a duplicate, you know, I usually don't stress about it because I play the game not for the exotic weapons. The exotic weapons are more of a bonus of me playing the game. When I put a lot of hours into it, and I finally get that exotic that's like, oh, shit, you know, fuck yeah, I got an exotic. But if I play 40 hours and don't get an exotic, I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. So the drop rate, I think, is pretty good. I do agree with people, you know, who play long hours, or even the people who don't play a lot. Just to get a duplicate exotic is very discouraging for those people who are out trying to get all the exotics. I'm not one of those people, so personally, I don't mind. So all in all, I think Destiny is a great game. I should touch on the Dreaming City. I don't really have much to say about the Dreaming City other than the fact that I love the way how it's on a 3-week cycle. I think the Dreaming City is great. It's a very creative zone for a company to do. I think Bungie pulled out, you know, I'm assuming programming-wise that was not an easy feat. To have a whole zone constantly change on a 3-week cycle. Not to mention, it didn't really even start until the first raid completion, which was fucking awesome. I mean, come on. How can you say anything bad about the Dreaming City when it's set up like that? Yeah, loot drops could be a little better, but I think loot drops in general are still a little bit of a weak point in the game. But, you know, the weapons are fun to use. I like doing the lost sectors. The whole zone itself is pretty challenging. You do have to be a little bit higher power level to not get frustrated through it. There's so much going on. I there's so many secrets within it. I don't really have much bad to say about it. I think it's an awesome addition to the game. I think Bungie should use this as a staple point moving forward. I think this is, maybe they should go back to the Infinite Forest and see how they can change it in relation to how they did the Dreaming City. Like the Infinite Forest, they should do it like how the Haunted Forest is right now. If you're playing the Festival of the Lost event, I think that's what it's called, or the Dawning event or whatnot. How they have the Haunted Forest right now, they should go back. The Infinite Forest should be like that, and I would be totally okay with that. And then make the Mercury weapons. I love the Mercury weapons. Make that as rewards with random rolls, and the higher level you get through on the Infinite Forest, the better the drops get. I think that's an awesome thing. Maybe even throw in some planet-specific exotics, or even just for that activity as well. But yeah, the Dreaming City, I got nothing bad to say. It's a fantastically done zone. It keeps me coming back over and over. So yeah, I guess I should touch on that a little bit. But all in all, I think Destiny 2 Forsaken, even after a month and a half in, is still a pretty great game. I still have a lot of fun playing it, even though my playtime is decreasing a little bit from it, because it is getting a little repetitive. But I'm almost to 580, so once I hit 580, I'm really going to try hitting up the raid, which I think will pique my interest into the game more. So I think for new players, or even for players getting close to the holiday season that are debating on whether or not they should buy Forsaken, I think you should. I think the game, all in all, is a very good game. Yeah, it does lose its edge after a month and a half a little bit, but what game doesn't? Every game will kind of hit that point where it's like, you kind of dwindle down. But look, we got a DLC coming in, I think December or January. We got this holiday event now. There's tons of videos out there saying how Arms Week might be coming soon. I don't know, we've been saying that for like a year, but so it looks like they're going to drip feed some more little activities, which will keep me coming back. So, props to Bungie. I don't think the game is totally fixed. I think there are some loot issues, but all in all, the game is on a very good path. Now the game is on a good template to increase how the game gets. And it's only going to get more fun from here as long as Bungie doesn't go back to what they did in Destiny 2 Year 1. I think they got a positive momentum going. I think they've hit a zone with this DLC, and I think the game is only going to get better moving forward. Some things I would probably like to see is I want to see more reasons to do the strikes. Like I always say in every video, the strikes were always my favorite activity to do. I think making strikes a little bit more rewarding. Strike specific loot. I loved how they did it in D1 with getting the keys to the chest. Like you had to grind the strikes to get the keys, and then when you finally got the keys, you got the strike specific loot for whatever strike you used the key on, and it dropped at a higher power level than what you were, or at that time it was light level. Please God, Bungie, if you hear this video, go back to that. That was fucking awesome, and I loved farming strikes to do that. But yeah, so it's a pretty much laid back, drawn out video of my thoughts on Destiny 2 a month in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. More videos are to come. I got some exotic quest videos lined up, and I also got some weapon reviews and things like that. And I'm going to do a video on the Halloween event going on in Destiny right now. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified when those videos are posted. Please like the video. It really does help me out a lot. I am trying very hard to grow the channel. And your support and even just a like click is very, very helpful. So thank you all for checking out this video. Again, I apologize for the delay on the videos. Work got crazy, so it's been a little tough, but I'm going to get back in the swing of things. We're going to be posting a lot more videos, and I'm going to start moving into Red Dead Redemption as well. So, all right, everybody take care. Have a good night. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you guys next week.